Hello and welcome to the 5 Days to VA free training designed to help you start your virtual assistant business or online service provider business in only 5 days. My name is Erin and I'm so excited that you are here because there is so much opportunity for you to be working online, having a thriving business that lets you work from anywhere, whenever you want to, be in control of your own schedule, and really just be able to live your dream life. So without any further ado, let's dive right in. Welcome to 5 Days to VA, a free training to help you start your online business. Before we begin, I want you to take note of this copyright notice, just stating that you will not use this for anything other than learning to build your own business. Hi, my name is Erin, and I help people make money online. You can check me out at www.erinmort.com and at erin.mort on Instagram so that you can learn all about what I do and how I help people start their businesses online. First things first, how did I get here? Well, throughout my corporate life, I never really felt like I fit into a box. I would always see the people who worked as accountants or who worked in finance or who worked in marketing and think to myself, how did they know that they wanted to specialize in that? Because I never had that one thing that I felt like I specialized in. I was always very resourceful. I was a jack of all trades. I could kind of learn things as I went and I could really do a little bit of everything, but I never felt passionate about just one thing other than the fact that I loved to help people. I loved to figure things out. I loved to be that go-to person. So throughout my corporate career, I started as a receptionist at a real estate firm. And while I was there, I actually started working as a virtual assistant. I was about 21 at the time. So I started helping people, with their online listing presentations. I helped them with their marketing, their social media. I helped them get online contracts signed. I really helped all these realtors, from my bedroom at home while I was living with my parents, while I was also in school. So that was sort of my first, dabbling into the virtual assistant world. As I was going through my corporate career, I was also in college. So I sort of left the VA thing behind for a little bit so that I could, because at one point I was in college while working. I started, working for a nonprofit where I also ended up getting into politics for a little while. And those were some great experiences. But again, never really felt like I fit in one specific place. I ended up working as an executive assistant in Manhattan for a little while, sort of a la Devil Wears Prada. And it was a great experience. And I learned so, so much. But I was really, overworked and I was really stressed all the time. And I really, felt like I just wanted more out of life. My last corporate job that I had gotten was as an executive assistant for a multi-$100 commercial real estate firm. And when I had that job, I sort of said, I want to work here, but I want to figure out what it is that I want to do with my life. So they helped me with that and they helped me get a promotion. And I ended up getting promoted to a job that they made up for me, which was the head of IT and investor relations. But I still just felt like this isn't what I'm meant to do. When I was a little girl, I didn't dream of growing up and becoming the head of investor relations or IT at a commercial real estate firm. I dreamt of more. I know that I was capable of more. At the same time, I also was really, really stressed. I was having really bad anxiety and I was really tired of feeling like what I was doing was helping build someone else's dream life. The work that I was doing was contributing to someone else's daughter's college fund and their vacation homes and their nice cars. And I thought to myself, why am I not doing something that allows me to have those things? So I started dabbling in MLMs. I tried a couple different ones, because I wanted to figure out how to work online, but I didn't know how else to get there other than to try MLMs. If you don't know what an MLM is, it's a multi-level marketing company in which you sell a product and then you recruit other people to sell the same product. Therefore, you make a profit on what they share, on what they sell. So I tried, Advocare, I tried It Works, I tried Selpada, I tried Arbonne, and I actually went really hard with a couple of them, going to the conferences, going to all the meetings, calling people, cold calling, trying all the things. And it never felt right. And so I would spend all my time and all my energy either trying out these MLMs while working these corporate jobs that I didn't love, or, looking up how to work online, how to go remote, how to, because I was so sick of just feeling this way, feeling like I was meant for more and didn't know how to get there. Fast forward to 2019, early 2019, I actually convinced my last corporate job to let me go remote. So I was able to take that job, keep my salary, keep my benefits and everything, and move to Florida, which was way warmer than where I was from in New Jersey. And I was the first employee at that company to work remotely. However, that brought along with it so much anxiety because I was now a part of a toxic work culture that really penalized me for not being present in the office. My anxiety was so bad that I actually started experiencing physical symptoms of anxiety. I started to have chest pains, head pains. I actually went to the hospital a couple of times. And every time I went to the hospital, they would say, "This is anxiety." And I would say, "No, no, tell me what's wrong with me. There's something wrong with me." And they would say, "Nope, this is anxiety." And so I would be frustrated because I would think there's no way I'm this stressed and there's no way I'm this anxious. Um, but I was, and it was really horrible. And I experienced depersonalization, which is a really scary form of anxiety where you don't feel like you really know who you are anymore. And it was a horrible experience. So with all that happening, with the fact that I knew I wanted more, with the fact that I was having this horrible anxiety, I couldn't take care of myself, I couldn't take care of my health, I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, I decided, I need to be able to work remotely for myself. I need to not be so confined to another company. I need to be able to, if I have a bad night of anxiety and I didn't sleep, I need to be able to wake up at 10. I need to be able to go to the gym when I need to go to the gym. I need to not be so stuck where I was. So I restarted my virtual assistant business. And within a couple of months, I was making $8,000 per month very quickly. And I mean, I really just hit the ground running. As I was building my business, I realized there was so much information out there that was so unhelpful. There were people telling you to work for free, to work for really cheap, to do unpaid internships. There was so much information that I was sitting there thinking, I'm not doing that. So I did it my own way. And as I did it, I scaled my business very, very quickly. And so I realized there needs to be a different way that people are taught how to start these businesses because I was able to gain the success fairly quickly. I'm sure other people would be able to do the same if they had just had the right information. So I had people in my DMs asking me online, how did I get here? How did I do this? So I started helping them. And one by one, those people started quitting their jobs, replacing their corporate incomes, making significant money online and living their best lives. And so I went into VA coaching where I helped people start their virtual assistant businesses. A couple months after that, I hung up my VA hat for good. My clients were doing amazing, and I realized I need to dedicate more time to this. So I ended up creating my full-blown program, which is called the OSP Training Academy. And OSP stands for Online Service Provider because, as you will see as we continue this training, there are so many things that you can do outside of just being a virtual assistant. There are so many different opportunities for you to start your business online as a service provider. So we're going to talk all about it. Now, here we are in 2021. The OSP Training Academy has just completely blossomed. It is so amazing. We've had over 200 people go through the program alone, and I've helped a couple thousand people now start their businesses online. OSP remains the top-rated program for people starting their online businesses. And in fact, word on the street is that people actually look to hire people who are OSP grads because of the, really respected nature of the program and people knowing the corporate background that it came from, having served high level CEOs and, working my way to the top in Manhattan and all of those things. People really trust that OSP grads have that experience and have that work ethic that is required of them to be amazing service providers. So here we are, and we're gonna get going into it. So here's the agenda. Over the next 5 days, we will cover what can I do online. So like I said, yes, you can be a virtual assistant, but there are so many other things that you can do as well. Your niche and services, so who you're gonna work for, what you're gonna do. How to price yourself. So we want you to make good money and also, make sure that you're pricing yourself so that you're confident in what you are charging. Your business blueprint, so sort of creating a roadmap for what you're going to be offering in your business and how you're going to run your business. And of course, finding clients, the most important thing. And, we're going to talk all about it. It is not as scary as it seems. So day one, what can I do online? Today, we are going to discuss why you should work online. What is an online service provider? Types of service providers and virtual assistants. And of course, finding your zone of genius. So let's talk about why you should work online. First of all, in 2020 alone, 4.1 million businesses were started up. That is up 26.9% from 2019. And guess what? Many of these were online businesses. So there's always the question of, is the online space saturated? And the answer is absolutely not. Because the more people move online, the more opportunity there is for you, and it just continues to grow and grow and grow. So if that is something that you are worried about, I'm here to squash that right now. Do not let that get in your way because there is so much opportunity. Working online and having your own business allows for your own financial security. I know that when the pandemic started, a lot of people were laid off and a lot of people lost their jobs. And a lot of people also started their online businesses and were able to take back their financial security. It's really interesting to me because so often people will say, I'm worried about having my own business and starting my own company because I like the security of a paycheck. But then when push comes to shove, really, you are the one who creates your own security. When you work for someone else, they have the security. So it's really important that you know that when you have your own business, if you put in the work and you consistently show up for your business, you are creating your own financial security. It's also so amazing to be able to set your own schedule and your own working hours. Like I mentioned earlier, when I was having really horrible anxiety, the fact that I was able to now wake up at 10 a.m. or go to the gym at 2 p.m. or have a doctor appointment at 4 p.m. and not have to take time off or schedule it into my day or week or whatever, it was life changing. As someone who experienced these problems, it was really life changing. So if you have, a family or children, or if you have health issues, or if you just want the ability to take a hike on a Wednesday, that was something that was so foreign to me. Was I can go for a walk on a Wednesday afternoon and I can do fun things that aren't on Saturdays and Sundays. If you want to be able to actually live your life now, it's an amazing way to do that. You can also choose who you want to work with. One of the coolest things about working online is that you are no longer forced to work with the people who, quite honestly, make you feel not great about yourself. Like I also mentioned earlier, I came from a toxic workplace where people would say things to me that really would set me on anxiety spirals. And then when I started working online, if I had a client who didn't make me feel amazing, I would end my contract with that client. I no longer had room for people who made me question my value or my worth, or made me do things I didn't want to do, which also, leads into the next issue, the next point. But when you choose who you want to work with, you go from working with people who maybe make you not feel so great to people who actually light up your world and make you feel like $1 million all the time. And so I loved being friends with my clients. I would go from doing some tasks and working for them to talking about our life and our goals and our dreams. And it's such a cool aspect of working for yourself and having your own business. And of course, you can choose the type of work you want to do. So again, looking back on my corporate life, I did a lot of things that I was good at, but I never really felt passionate about any of it. I'm a very creative person. And so I wanted the ability to do things like write, or, I love organizing other people's lives. So I wanted to do that, but for people who treated me well. And so I got to choose the type of work that I wanted to do. So if you love writing, you can be a copywriter. If you love interacting with people, you can be, a client manager for a business coach. There are so many things that you can do that let you do the things that, again, light you up. So let's dive into what exactly is an online service provider. Okay, so an online service provider, or an OSP, is a remote worker who provides support in an administrative, technical, or creative function for an online business or a brick and mortar business. It is so important that you know that you do not have to only work for online businesses. You can work for businesses that have a storefront, that are restaurants, that actually are brick and mortar. One of my first clients was actually a dance studio in Canada while I was based in Florida in the United States. And so not only can you work for brick and mortar businesses, but you can also work with people from wherever in the world. They run their own businesses, so they are self-employed people under a sole proprietorship, an LLC, et cetera, or they can be part of an agency. So there are many people who end up creating agencies where they find the clients and then they pay you to work for those clients. And so you can contract to those people. So, or down the line, you can even create your own agency, which is a really incredible way of scaling your business. So that is sort of how online service providers work. Now let's talk about the different types of online service providers. So we would have, a virtual assistant, which is something I've mentioned a couple of times. Virtual assistants are very popular. They are very needed. Again, do not let oversaturation be something that makes you afraid, because there's such a need for virtual assistants. You can be a copywriter. A copywriter is someone who strictly writes copy. They write captions for people's social media pages. They write newsletters, emails, sales pages. They website copy. If you are someone who loves writing, you can be a thriving copywriter. You can be a graphic or web designer. So this is, again, something that is very needed. A lot of times people will hire them on, retainer to just be there and be available to them to help them create graphics for their social media or their website or what have you. So if you are already into that, that is something you can absolutely do as an online service provider. You could be an online business manager. An online business manager is sort of an up-leveled version of a VA. An online business manager really sees the big picture. They take initiative, so they go out there and they just do tasks without really being asked, as opposed to being delegated to the way a virtual assistant would be. So if you are someone who has managerial experience or sort of like corporate experience, executive assistance, maybe some tech experience, you would likely want to be an online business manager. You can be a Facebook or an Instagram ads specialist. So if you already know how to do Facebook ads, that's an amazing thing to be able to offer. You can make a couple $1,000s per client per month doing that. So if you are into that, definitely that is something that you can do. You could be a branding or a logo expert. Again, sort of if you're into that design aspect of things, this is something great that you can offer for people. There is so much room for you in the space. You could be a podcast manager. So if you love podcasts, if you know about audio engineering, if you know about the world of podcasting, you can literally help people, edit and upload and market and, book guest speakers for their podcasts. And you can also be a sales specialist or a closer. So if you are someone who is really good with sales, or you've had a sales position in the past in your corporate life or whatever it is, you can actually get paid to take sales calls for your clients, where then you get sometimes a base pay plus commission, sometimes it's just commission. But for people who are selling programs that are a couple $1,000s, you could end up making really good money as a sales specialist. And it's another awesome way for you to get started online. So these are just some examples of online service providers. There are so many things that you can do, and we are going to tell you how to figure out how to do that. Okay, so of virtual assistants, there are so many different versions of virtual assistants that you can be. So within the world of VAs, there are also a ton of different things that you can do that you may not already know about, such as an executive VA. So an executive VA is someone who would maybe set appointments, they would book your travel, they would really do all the things that an executive assistant would do, just in a VA sort of setting. You can do general administrative assistance, which would be just general admin. So basically, I delegate tasks to you, you do the tasks for me, and you help me essentially with my administrative needs. You could be a tech VA, who is someone who is well versed in, things like website management or setting up email marketing, things like that. You could be solely an engagement VA, and this is such an awesome way for you to start your business and get, going with clients, because an engagement VA is someone who basically primarily they focus on engaging for their clients, meaning they would log into their social media profiles and they would do outreach on their behalf. So they would go and they would like and they would comment on posts and respond to people's stories and start to build that network for them. This is a huge thing because so many entrepreneurs who have social media profiles don't have the time to do that. And you can start with small packages of maybe a half an hour a day, where it's not a big investment for people, but you are able to get your foot in the door and really just grow that business with that small engagement package. I know so many people have had such amazing success with getting started with engagement VA packages. You could be a launch VA. So a launch VA is someone who helps people launch their programs. So essentially you would get used to what the launch structure looks like, and you would specialize in that. And then you would be able to help people with their launches. You could be a Dubsado VA, which is a CRM tool, or Honeybook, if you've ever heard of it. And basically what you would do is get paid to help people implement CRM systems into their businesses. And you could, again, charge pretty good money just for getting that set up for them. You could be a photography VA. So if you know that you love working with photographers, or if you have a background in photography, you could help them with that. I know one of the things that's really difficult for photographers is things like culling and editing. And so if you have those capabilities, you can actually work directly with those photographers and help them accomplish those tasks. You could be a wedding VA who works specifically with people in the wedding industry, helping them, with bookings and, everything that is involved with running a wedding business. And you can be a real estate VA. So, helping people sort of like I did in the very beginning with their online listing presentations and their marketing and things like that. So there are so many different things that you can do as a VA alone. Now, how can we figure out what to do? So, first, in order to figure out what you want to do, you want to start with the following. What do you enjoy doing? So think really hard about like what you actually really like to do. Do you love organization? Do you love writing? Do you love being creative? Do you love design? Do you think about what you actually really enjoy doing? Like when you're doing it, you feel like you're in flow, you feel like it's fun, you feel like it's not work. What do you really enjoy doing? And what are you good at? So maybe you love design, but maybe you're not great at it. That's kind of like me. I love design, but I'm not the best at it. So that's not something that I would specifically offer for my clients. I love writing and I'm good at it. So that is something that I would write that I would offer for my clients. So think about what you're good at doing and what you enjoy doing and what people can pay you for. So in these examples, I'm good at, I like doing design. I like writing. I'm not good at design, but I am good at writing and people can pay me for writing. So therefore, maybe I will go into copywriting, right? And this can be so many different things. As someone with an executive assistance background, I was really good and enjoyed managing other people's lives, managing their clients. I'm really a people person. I love, interacting, sort of being that liaison between my clients and their clients. And so I knew that people could pay me to help just manage their lives and whatnot. So really think about the intersection of all these things. And that intersection is called your zone of genius. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. So this is your zone of genius. So as you can see, we have what you love doing, what your clients need, and what you're good at. And in between those, we have your passion, your purpose, and your offering. And right there, smack dab in the middle, is your zone of genius. So your homework for day one is I want you to figure out your zone of genius. That is it for today. Do your homework, and I will see you tomorrow for day 2.